Okay, next up, motor programming.
Now entering motor programming.
Hello, I am Rathbot.
You must program the doctor to successfully navigate the maze and pick up all of the brains. Running into walls or bugs will affect how the program runs. Select lines of code from the main program by clicking on them. The move command allows the doctor to step 1 square forward. The turn command rotates the doctor 90 degrees in the appropriate direction. The wait command has the doctor brain icon stand in place for 1 turn. The brain pickup command collects a brain icon if the doctor is standing on it. Press Reset to clear a program group. Press Start to run your program. Press Stop to reset your program.
Come solve the program puzzle for Rathbot. Good luck.
This will make you think. You now have both subroutines available for your program. This puzzle is now worth 15%.
Okay, so the way this works is when you hit start, the main program just runs straight through and then the program ends. Unless it hits a sub 1 or sub 2 command, in which case it'll run the appropriate subroutine. Sub 1 can also access sub 2, but not the other way around, or you risk looping errors. So the way this one in particular works is you can look at sub 2, you can see it just picks up 3 brains and turns left. Sub 1 runs that a bunch of times. And then the main program runs each one once. I'm going to go ahead and just solve this
The move
one.
command.
Because I really want to get past this one. I want to get to the third puzzle. Because I think that's more interesting than either of the first two. But while it's running, I can briefly explain what this program does. This routine here, it runs along one leg of any of these sides here. You can see it just runs, picks up 3 brains and turns left. By running it a whole bunch of times, you're making him run around in a loop, a counterclockwise loop. As you can see, we're at the end of this routine, and he's finished making his loop here. Now we're running sub 2, which basically just takes him across here. And we're going to do that 3 times, take him all the way over to this end of the board here. The reason why we want him here instead of here is because we want him to run counterclockwise, whereas when we ran sub 2 here, he was standing facing down. So running him counterclockwise would have put him in this loop here. You would have to turn him around and go this way, but that has problems, because you still haven't picked up the 2 brains that were right here. And you've used up all your moves in the main program. Anyway, this isn't important to me. I want to get to the next one.
You think like a machine. Your father must have been an electrical appliance.
This section is now 15% complete.
You program with excellence. Want to program again?
Well, in this maze, you can see the obvious pattern. We want him to step into each of the hallways and pick up a brain and run back. So we're going to delegate that simple routine to the sub 2, where he's going to move twice into a hallway, pick up the brain, turn around and walk back out. Then we're going to use sub 1 to call that a bunch of times. So like if he's standing right here, you want him to turn, doesn't matter which way, turn left, say, and then run sub 2, which will pick this one up, do it again, and that'll pick that one up, so we'll be facing up, so we want to turn right, and then move him twice. The reason why you want to do that and nothing else, don't fill this one, because then he'd be standing right here facing to the right, and put him in the same position relative to these brains as he is in the beginning. That way, in the main program, we can just run sub 1 4 times. You can see how this works here. That right now it's running just that first one, and he's going to do all this, and then he's just going to do that 4 times. Pretty simple puzzle, actually, for one that requires 2 subroutines. It's a lot simpler than the next one, anyway. See, See, there he goes, the third one. Again, I'm only doing this quickly. I didn't solve this for the first time this quickly. I'm just doing this because I want to get to that third puzzle. I think it's more interesting than either of the first two. I'll still only have about 5 minutes to explain it, so sorry for being in a rush.
You are like a well-oiled machine. I like that in you.
This section is now 30% complete.
That
Here we go.
was like a power surge. Let us do it again.
See, this one's more interesting because there's no obvious long pattern that he's going to be running. He's not going to run on a big loop a whole bunch of times or go in a simple pattern like before. This is a more random looking maze. So you still have to use subroutines, so you have to look for certain patterns that he's going to exercise repeatedly. But since there's no large routine, you're not going to end up putting the sub2 command in sub1.
The neural
Instead,
network
we're going to
is the
have
hardware of
sub1 and
intelligence.
sub2 be independent of each other, and then just run each of them, access them both straight from the main program. So, like, if I look here and see, well, the first thing I need to do, I think I need to go this way, anyway, of course, because this bug's going to be going back and forth and getting in the way there. The first thing I think of is, oh, I want to make like a zigzag move here. Well, if I program one of the subroutines a zigzag move, am I going to be accessing such a thing again? Well, actually, yes. Once we get up here somehow, we'll be doing a zigzag move a couple times to get up there. So it's a good idea. So it would be a good idea to go ahead and program some little zigzaggy move here. Move, move, turn left, move, turn right. I would say move. Then you could see that the other pattern would be like, oh, look, brain, brain, and brain. Brain, brain, and brain. Well, there's no brain here, but an empty pickup is okay. Then you have brain, brain. So, you know, maybe I could do something like have sub2 look something like this. So like if I ran sub1 here, that'd put there, and put sub2 there, that would put him right there. Then I could put turn right. Should I put it there, or should I put it at the end of the sub2? Well, am I going to be turning right every time I run sub2? We'll have to be running sub2 up here again. We'll have to be running it up here. It won't matter what he does after he picks up that last brain, but since turning right is useful both here and here, it'd be a good idea to add that on the end here. That would put him... Now, you would have to do another sub2, but if I did that right now, he would actually miss that brain and end up right here. So you would want him to move first before running sub2. But you can see there might be a problem if we start dumping a bunch of basic move commands here. We only have so many lines in the main program, so we'd rather put subroutines here so the program can run longer. And we still might need to adjust the subroutines themselves so we don't have to put all those moves in the main program. Let's see. Even though sub1, like here, going from here to here, we do need 2 zigzag moves. However, this one doesn't have a pickup. We need to pick up this brain. We don't want to also put a pickup over here and this move here, over there. We'd rather have all those moves over here. So, would it be better to put this as a pickup? If we pick up a brain here, that would certainly pick up this one at the end of a zigzag. That would mean that he'd pick up at the end of every zigzag. If that would actually be useful here if you pick up the end here and here. In fact, if he picks up this one as well as this one, there really is no need to have a pickup at the beginning here. So we can go ahead and shift these. Move, move, pick up, turn right. And actually, if we put move here, then what this routine does is it starts here and it will move, pick up, move, pick up, turn right, and move. So it'll kind of give this L shape. So if I ran sub2, again, it would move, pick up, move, pick up, turn right, move. Hey, that's perfect, because then I can just run sub1 again. That would be move, turn left, move, turn right, move, pick up. Excellent. You can run sub1 again. Move, turn left, move, turn right, move, pick up. Then you would just turn right, and then it would be a sub2. And that should actually do it. He'll run into this wall in the end, but it won't matter. We'll still have all the brains. Sucker.
Time to power up.
This section is now 45% complete.
Let us do it
Whoa.
again without blowing
I don't know how to
all
do
of
that
my
one.
circuits.
I'll have to look at it later.
If puzzle solving was a musical note, you would be a symphony.